ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا وسيئات أعمالنا من يهده الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلل فلا هادي له وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله حق تقاته ولا تموتن إلا وأنتم مسلمون. Come on closer, brother. يا أيها الناس اتقوا ربكم الذي خلقكم من نفس واحدة وخلق منها زوجها وبث منهما رجالا كثيرا ونساء واتقوا الله الذي تساءلون به والأرحام إن الله كان عليكم رقيبا. يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله وقولوا قولا سديدا يصلح لكم أعمالكم ويغفر لكم ذنوبكم ومن يطع الله ورسوله فقد فاز فوزا عظيما. أما بعد فإن خير الكلام كلام الله وأحسن الهدي هدي محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم وشر الأمور محدثاتها وكل محدثة بدعة وكل بدعة ضلالة وكل ضلالة في النار. We continue in Buloogh Al-Maraam by the great illustrious Imam Al-Hafiz Ahmad ibn Ali ibn Hajar Al-Asqalani rahimahullah, who died 852 after the Hijrah of Mustafa. After the Hijrah of Mustafa alayhi salatu wassalam. As we know, Ya Ma'ash al-Ikhwa, as preparation for Ramadan is very important, and perfecting his ibadah is one of the most requested affairs that every abd or every servant of Allah sets out to perfect as much as possible. The salawat, learning the ahkam of it, the wajibat, the mustahabbat, the makruhat, what is highly recommended, what is obligatory, and what's disliked. Come closer, brother, closer. Come on, man. Come on. I need you right here. There's something wrong with your back. You got a back problem? Come on, see right here. You're right there. Right. Oh, so cord right there? Oh, okay. He's good. Thanks. Also, I forgot the date. Today is the what? April the what, everyone? 12th, April 12th, 2019, which agrees on the seventh night of Sha'ban. The seventh night of Sha'ban, the year 1440, after the Hijrah, after the migration of the Messenger, alayhi salatu wassalam. We concluded the narrations clarifying how the month of Ramadan starts. We brought the narrations of Ibn Abbas and also the Arabi, the Bedouin, who came to the Messenger of Allah sallallahu, and they had testified that they seen the sighting. They seen the sighting in the moon for the month of Ramadan to commence. So we concluded those narrations, and we gathered and we summarized that those narrations affirm that the month of Ramadan, that it starts based upon either the sighting of the moon, which is at the 29th night. When we arrive to the 29th night, then what, everyone? Then one investigates the sighting. He investigates. After that, the Messenger of Allah gave clear instructions where he said, إِن غُمَّ عَلَيْكُمْ فَأَكْمِلُوا عِدَّةَ 30 يَوْمًا. If you look in your books, we said, if the affair becomes ambiguous, meaning it's not clear, because there's something hindering your vision. Something hindering your vision, whether it be cloudy, or whether it be smoke, or any type of obstruction that might hurt one, or that might obstruct one from seeing the signing of the moon clearly. Then the Messenger of Allah gave other instructions. We clearly said, فَأَكْمِلُوا عِدَّةَ 30 يَوْمًا. Complete the 30 days of Sha'ban. So it's simple. So the Messenger of Allah made it clear and simple. Anything outside of that is rejected. As we know from the newly invented matters that a lot of people rely on, especially these days, is what they call al-hisab al-falaki. You'll find that some of the Muslims rely upon this, or they utilize this method, and we said it is not legislated. The Messenger of Allah made it clear of the two ways that we start the month of Ramadan, based upon the ru'ya, as they say, the sighting, or completing the 30 days of Sha'ban. It's that simple. asked for what they call al-hisab al-falaki, what they call it, for the lack of better words, astronomical calculations, looking at the position of the stars and everything based upon that, then that affair, like we said, is rejected. That matter is not acceptable, and we do what the Messenger of Allah sallallahu what he did, and likewise the Sahaba after him. So that's where we concluded from these two narrations of Abdullah bin Abbas and also the A'rabi, and the other narrations that we took and we covered from the previous class. So that's just to sum up everything. We also talked about another affair such as Qabul Khabr al-Wahid, the acceptance of one narration in which the Messenger of Allah did in regards to the sighting of the moon. He accepted the narration of one individual. That was it. And like I said to everyone, it's very important to grasp the ideology and the belief and the conviction of when the Messenger of Allah ﷺ accepted the news of one person, and he worked by his narration and what he conveyed to him, alayhi salatu wasalam. And likewise, what the Messenger of Allah also likewise who he sent in order to convey and spread the message of Islam. We only sent one individual, where it was Mu'adh ibn Jabal. The reason why I'm stressing its importance of knowing about this matter, because you'll find there are a lot of corruptive ideologies, especially in the i'tiqad and the belief system of Ahl Sunnah and Ahl Hadith, based upon the fact you'll find that there are deviant sects from the Muslims who try to cause confusion in this matter. Where they said it's not accepted, that which they call Khabr al-Wahid or Khabr al-Ahad, that as far as in regards to the fundamentals of Islam or the belief system or the creed, it has to be mutawatir. As we said, mutawatir means it has to be numerous narrators, 5, 10, 20, 30, 40. It has to be what? An abundance of narrators. That's called tawatur. Tawatur meaning an abundance of narrators that conveyed the narrations. They say that's a stipulation in the aspect of aqidah, of the belief system of the Muslims. That is not a stipulation at all. The only stipulation, even if it was conveyed by one sahabi, and the chain of narrators in that narration fulfill the prerequisites of sihha, of authenticity, that is the thing that we want, base everything upon as far as acceptance or rejection. If the chain is correct, or the chain is fulfilled in it, all the conditions of authenticity, then that is what we want look at. Whether or not the affair was conveyed from one companion, or 5 companions, or 10 companions, that's not our affair, nor was that the affair of the ulama of the past or of today. Is it clear what I'm saying, everyone? The only thing that's looked at is the chain of narrators, and the text, of course, is also investigated, no doubt. But that is what Ahlul Sunnah, they look at in regards to the narrations of the Prophet ﷺ. Whether or not we accept it or reject it, it all returns back to the chain of narrators in which Ahl Ilm put forth their utmost effort in investigating to make sure what was conveyed to us has been authentically reported upon the Prophet ﷺ. That is what is important to us. Is it clear what I'm saying, everyone? Jay. So that's what we gathered from the last narrations. Fine. Everyone look in their books for the next one that we can move on. So the next narration, the authority of our mother, Hafsa, المؤمنين عن النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم قال من لم يبيت الصيام قبل الفجر فلا صيام له رواه الخمسة ومال النسائي والترمذي إلى ترجيح وقفه وصححه مرفوعا ابن خزيمة وابن حبان وللدار القطني لا صيام لمن لم يفرضه من الليل. I want you guys to pay attention. Whoever does not, if you look at your books, matter of fact, where's in the bathroom? Here, take his book for a second. Kids. Here, read that right there. Oh, now he's back. Get a chair. Get a chair out of my office. No. We have more in there. Get a chair. You have another chair? I got you. Kaden, get him a chair for me. 2 chairs that's in there, please. طيب. Whoever does not make their niyyah, the intention. Whoever does not make the intention, he's all right, just leave him. He's okay. Whoever does not make his intention before Fajr, then he does not have any fast, meaning any valid fast. You could have a fast, but he does not have a siyam shar'i, meaning an acceptable fast that's been legislated, acceptable with Allah. So we say, Man lam yubayyit as-siyam qabl al-fajr. Whoever does not make his niyyah before Fajr, then he does not have a siyam. I wanted him to share his book with you. So just read his book together. طيب. So this is another affair after we have established that Islam has come with the pillar of the religion of truth in regards to the pillars of our religion, which is the pillar of Ramadan, which we're about to perform in a couple of weeks, inshallah. We know that the prerequisite for it to be accepted is that a person has to be Muslim, baligh aqil. He has to be Muslim. So اشترط في ذلك الإيمان والعقل وكذلك البلوغ. So it's stipulated in it that a person has to be Muslim. As we know, no ibadah is correct or valid from an unbeliever, a person is not Muslim. Secondly, a person has to be aqil. He has to be in the right state of mind. He cannot be majnoon or ma'tu or mukharrif, or as they call kharaf, as we'll talk about inshallah. Majnoon meaning crazy or out of his mind or insane, or ma'tu. I don't know what they call it when a person has reached the age he's very old. Some of them say Alzheimer's. I guess you could say senile too also. Be senile, Alzheimer's, and also it's another one, dementia. Those type of the words, the words that's comprehensive that fits those meanings is ma'tu, majnoon, mukharrif, or kharaf. Those type of awsaf or those descriptions we'll talk about inshallah. But anyway, that's the reason why we said in order for ibadah to be valid, a person has to be what? Muslim, aqil. He has to be in right state of mind. He cannot be insane. And he has to be what? And he has to be baligh. He has to reach the age of what they call sinnu taklif, the age where the duties of Islam are now what? Binding upon him to perform. For as far as one person or a little child who's 4 or 5 years old, what have you, then they are ghayru mukallaf. As we know, they have not been given the duties to carry out or perform the obligations yet. So that is the prerequisites in order for this ibadah or this worship to be valid. Number one is, like we said, he has to be Muslim, baligh aqil. He has to be Muslim. He has to be his right state of mind. He has to have sanity. He has to be sane. Or he also, like we said, it covers for it that he has to know what's going on around him. What's going on around him. He does not have dementia, or he doesn't become senile, as our brother said, or he does not become what they call mukharrif, or what they have Alzheimer's, or what have you, to the point where he loses his mind. Once a person does that, or he reached that level, especially when it's progressed, this type of sickness, it's reached a level where he does not know what's going on around him, then the obligation has been raised from him. It's been removed. Is it clear what I'm saying, everyone? Jay. So, now we're going to talk about the niyyah. We're going to talk about the importance of the niyyah. Is it enough that one, he comes to the month of Ramadan and he would do what they call niyyah, meaning perform? Or for number one, before we speak about the niyyah, as we know, the intention is very important, and we know that its place is the heart. We know there are certain narrations where the Messenger of Allah ﷺ clearly taught his ummah or his followers that what? There's certain places where you do verbalize the intention, and there's certain places you do not verbalize it. Such as, for example, Umrah. When a person wants to enter the sacred state of Ihram, and he passes by the miqat, the Messenger of Allah clearly said a person will say, Labbaik Allahumma Umrah. Oh Allah, I'm answering the call to perform Umrah. So in that particular instance, the Messenger of Allah clearly gave instructions to verbalize the intention. There are other ibadats the Messenger of Allah ﷺ did not teach. to verbalize one's intention. Before you make wudu, one does not verbalize his intention. And for example, even a month of Ramadan, a person does not mention, for example, raises his hands, "Oh Allah, I have the intentions to fast the month of Ramadan." He does not do that. Is it clear what I'm saying, everyone? For there was never been a narration upon the Messenger of Allah, nor any of the companions, that they did that. And if it was, the Messenger of Allah would have what? He would have taught it to his ummah that this is a place for verbalizing one's intention. But it's not a place. Is it clear what I'm saying, everyone? طيب. So we said in this regard, for now, is it enough that one have the intention for the month of Ramadan, and that would suffice? For example, the first night, person hears that Ramadan now will be tomorrow. Let's just say, for example, right now. We say the moon has been sighted. Tomorrow we start. Just give an example. طيب. Right now, one, does he make his intent? Of course he would make his intention now. He doesn't have to verbalize it, but he does it with his heart, of course. طيب. Does that one intention, meaning the first night of Ramadan, will it suffice for the rest of the month? Or does he have to do or place his intention or renew it every night, basically? Jade. Some people say he renews his intention every night. What do you say, Caden? Does he renew his intention every night? Meaning every night before he goes to sleep, he makes sure he has his intention to fast the following day. He says yes. He just goes along and goes along. Everybody else say. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Jade. Camden, what do you say? He should renew his intention every night, every single night for Ramadan. Jade, what do you say, Jamar? Agree with the Jamhur. طيب. He agrees with Fahid. Is anyone that has any other different in contrast to what we're saying now, we're mentioning now? Jade. As we're speaking, inshallah, no doubt, if one wants to do that, then that is better and preferable, no doubt. One, every night before he goes to sleep, then he should make his intention before he goes to sleep at night. No doubt. Just in case he wakes up past sahur. We miss sahur in the pre-dawn meal, he missed, and the time for fajr has entered. So just in case he has his what? He has his intention. No doubt. However, I'm going to read quickly what Ibn Uthaymeen, what he mentions. Oh man, what did I just do with it? I just moved it. Anyway, alhamdulillah, I know the meaning. I didn't get it, but I wanted to read it to you verbatim. But at any rate, he says, and as a matter of fact, I'm going to find it. Why is it every time when I want to find it, I just cannot find it? Where is it? Here it is. I just found it. He says, if it was the month of Ramadan, I'm going to read it to you guys, don't worry. When the month comes in, it does suffice in the beginning of the month that one makes his niyyah for the beginning of the month. However, if it's not with something that has broke the intention, meaning a person would travel, or something that made it took over as a mani', meaning a woman's mens, or what have you, or if a person travel, that would cut the niyyah and it would necessitate you have to renew it. But like we said, what is more, if you want to say, min bab al-ahwat, more secure, just to be safeguard, or just for the safe side, that one should book his niyyah for what? For every individual night. But he mentions, and I'm going to read it quickly what he says in this regard, that if one did it, it would suffice if he did it for the beginning of the month, as long he does not embark upon an act that cut the niyyah, such as a travel. Because we know when we travel, you do not have to what? You don't have to fast the month of Ramadan, as we'll talk about. It's in the chapter. It's going to come. That if you're traveling, you do not have to fast. If it's a travel. As we'll talk about, inshallah. Don't worry, we'll give the details in that. Or, for example, if a woman has her mens or postnatal bleeding, that type of matter, when it happens to her, she has to what? Leave off fasting. She has to. It's obligatory. But now, once it stops, here's and coming upon her now to what? To renew her intention. To renew her intention. And I'll read quickly even what he says in this regard. I had my page mark and it fell out of my book. No. So he said in this, and I'll just read it quickly. Of course, we know before Tulu' al-Fajr, that's the meaning of the narration which we're reading right now. It says in the authority of Hamzah, whoever does not make his intention before Fajr, then he has no valid fast, meaning of what is acceptable with Allah. Also, don't forget the last part of the narration. If you look at what it says, Imam ad-Daraqutni, he says, whoever, or there's no fast, meaning a valid fast, a legislated fast of Kitab and Sunnah, he will not have that unless he makes his intention before the night. So no doubt, based upon these clear narrations, before and every night when one goes to sleep, he should make his intention. Does he verbalize it, says it with his mouth? Does he utter it with his words and say, oh Allah, before I go to sleep, I have the intention to what? To fast tomorrow. No, you do not do that. You will also find that Ahl-Ilm say once a person wakes up to take his pre-dawn meal, the pre-dawn meal called sahur, before Fajr comes in, that suffices as an intention to clearly show that you want to what? That you want to fast. You do not have to say it. Because we know that it's from A'ada. Usually a person does not wake up that early to eat before Fajr. Do they? Does anybody? Unless they're working on the night shift. But if they're not usually or habitually, if a person goes to sleep, he does not wake up about 3 o'clock or 3:30 and 4 o'clock in the morning to eat. So that clearly shows when a person does that he has clearly made his intention to what? To fast. So he does not have to say or wake up or say something or verbalize or anything. That particular action that you're doing clearly states and affirms that you want to what? Fast that particular day. Is it clear? Is it clear what I'm saying, everyone? But no doubt, like we said, it's min bab al-afdaliyah, the aspect of what is more preferable if you want. Then no doubt, from bab al-sabil al-ihtiyat, what is more secure, if one wants to be on guard, then no doubt, if you want, if you go to sleep at night, to make your intention. But like we said, even Ahl-Ilm mentioned and say, especially Ibn Uthaymin, he said, but if the month of Ramadan does come in, and he does make it before the month, once the first night, of course, when he hears that tomorrow will be Ramadan, and he makes his niyyah for the month, of course, he said that will suffice, except that something might have taken over as a mani'. That something might have taken over to stop it, meaning that consecutive, continuous niyyah, such as a travel or what happens to the women during the month as far as what they meant, supposed to bleeding, that would necessitate they had to renew their intention. Is it clear what I'm saying, everyone? J. So that's what is mentioned here. That now, وهذا الصح, matter of fact, I've just read it, I'll read it quickly. He said, وذهب بعض أهل العلم إلى أن ما يشترط فيه التتابع تكفي النية في أوله. بعد ما لم يقطعه لعذر فيستأنف النية. وعلى هذا فإذا نوى الإنسان أول يوم من رمضان أنه صائم هذا الشهر كله فإنه يجزئه عن الشهر كله ما لم يحصل عذر ينقطع به التتابع كما لو سافر في أثناء رمضان. exactly what I just said. فإنه إذا عاد للصوم يجب عليه يجدد النية. هذا هو الأصح. So it's clear. He says some Ahl Ilm they go to the statement. Is everyone clear? Let's listen. Stay with me. That it's a prerequisite of what they call tatabu'. Meaning, it suffices that the intention from the first part of the month of Ramadan, as long as he does not cut it due to an excuse where it would necessitate he has to resume his intention. J. He says, upon this, if a person intended for the first day of Ramadan that he's fasting the whole month, that would suffice him of the whole month. As long as an excuse does not come, where as a result of it, it will be cut. The tatabu', that consecutive niyyah that will be continuous for the duration of the month is not cut. For example, if a person travels during the month of Ramadan, or if he returns, or if he now, of course, when he comes back from his travel, he has to resume his fasting. Here in this instance, he has to what, everyone? Renew his intention. He has to renew his intention. Is it clear what I'm saying? You know, is it clear what I'm saying? I forgot. I gotta get the guy's name. One of you guys' names is Yusuf, isn't it? What's your name? Zubair. Ziyad. Zayd. That's all Z's. G. It's all Zay. Zayat. طيب. So is it clear, everyone? So listen what the Shaykh Uthaymeen, listen what he says clearly. هذا هو الأصح. That is the most what? Correct. So nobody can say, AbdurRazzaaq, you got it from yourself, you made this up. La. I know exactly what I'm doing. Trust me. طيب. So it says هذا هو الأصح. That's what's correct. However, in your books, no doubt, if you want to be more secure for your fast, make your niyyah before you go to sleep. So if you wake up, let's just say, and you missed your pre-dawn meal before Fajr, which is called sahur, don't worry, Camden, we're going to talk about it. It's in your book. Matter of fact, alhamdulillah, it's right after this hadith. It's 2 hadith after this one. It talks about sahur. Matter of fact, it's right after. If you look in your book, it's there. At any rate, let's just say you missed it. You woke up, you heard the adhan. Well, if you live in an Islamic country, let's just say you missed the time. The time came in for Fajr. You missed sahur. طيب, as long as you made your niyyah, of course, you wake up and you're late for sahur. You woke up for Fajr, time is in. You fasted that day. Is it invalid or invalid? Valid or invalid? Is your fast now? Is it correct or is it incorrect? It's valid. Even if you miss what? Sahur. Because you had the what? The intention. So the intention is applicable to what? Those narrations that we're covering right now. Is it clear, Camden? Stay with me. So I said that if you went to sleep, let's just say right now after Isha, you went home. You went home, of course, had your intention. Went to sleep. You woke up for the time of Fajr. As we'll talk about, inshallah, there's something called sahur. Sahur. Sahur is a pre-dawn meal that you take before Fajr. Let's say you missed it. So you woke up the time for Fajr. Now, so it's obligatory for you now to start your what? Your fast. Because it's the time for Fajr. So what do? I slept past Sahur. I didn't eat my pre-dawn meal. And I woke up for the time of Fajr. Is your fast correct or is it incorrect? Or is it valid or is it invalid? Is it invalid? It's valid. Jayyid. It's valid. Good. طيب. Let's just say now, and I'm going to give you another question. And this is relative. And I'm going to make the correlation between this one and the other. Listen. Let's just say now that a person went to sleep for Asr. Salat al-Asr. 5 o'clock. 5 o'clock in the afternoon. Then, let me finish. No, you don't know. Listen. He went to sleep for Asr. He went to sleep for Asr, and he woke up the following day for Fajr. Went to sleep that long. You didn't even break it. It happens to certain people, especially if they might have traveled a long time and they didn't sleep a couple of days. That happens. Hey, it happens. It happens. It can happen. Especially if a person, he's working, he's exhausted himself, he's going days and days with a little bit of sleep, and his body just fall out. Bang. And you wake up, like, man, I'll sleep about 10, 12 hours. What happened? It happens. Right, everyone? So let's just say, based upon what Shaykh Uthaymeen mentioned, keep in mind what I said. What would that necessitate? Person went to sleep, all right, let's just say 6 o'clock in the afternoon. woke up, he didn't wake up until Fajr the following day or following morning. Is his fast correct or not? As long as he didn't. Exactly. Exactly. According to Shaykh Uthaymin says his fast will still be valid. Absolutely. He will have to now continue to fast. Even though he woke up late. Yeah, I had to throw you a curveball. Oh, that was easy? Okay. The salah, of course he has to wake up for the prayer. Taib, just brother, stick with me. Don't get me sidetracked because we want to continue the lesson. Taib, save the questions. But these are just to get you guys ready. But anyway, let's just say a person went to sleep. Let's say he went to sleep. Well, that's easy. That's too easy. Taib, I'll give you a question. Let's just say you left America. No, that's the time for Saudi Arabia. Matter of fact, this happened to me. Taib. This did happen to me before. We started Fajr, started fasting for Fajr. Matter of fact, leave that off. I don't know, that's too rough. Taib. Now that'd be a little bit confusing. All right, let's just continue because it was something I was going to be confusing. I don't want to confuse you guys. Taib. Now, since everyone has that clear, is it clear everything? Everything we said is clear so far? Jayyid. Let's just say, matter of fact, I'll add something on quickly and I'll stop because I want to move on to the next hadith because the next one is real beneficial. The next one, especially. A lot of people don't know about this one. And I want to give some details in this regard because this needs detail. A lot of people mix this hadith up a whole lot. I've seen a lot of people fall into khalt and takhabbut in regards to this narration of Aisha where people mix this narration up. This is very important. But I'll get this last example so we can move on. Taib, mas'ala. A man had to fast 2 consecutive months. We'll talk about the reason why. Don't worry, it's going to come. He says, is it binding upon him for every day that he had to fast consecutively for 2 months straight? That he have to what? Based upon what we mentioned, to make his niyyah for every single day, that he have to fast consecutively. 2 months straight. Jade. Based upon that, then no. What we mentioned. Doesn't have to do that. Unless what? Unless he breaks it due to an excuse, either to a travel or what have you, to the other different excuses there are, such as, for example, sicknesses or ailments. All that we'll talk about is going to come, inshallah. Taib. You ready for this next narration? Huh? Taib. Let's do the next one. Read it for me. Camden. KB. Tafadal. Caden. The next one. Hadith of Aisha. 531. Oh, I turned the page wrong. I'm sorry. 533. G. Here, I'll give it to you. It shows me you have to read when you go home. Here it is right there. Here, read with him. Hey, sit next to him. Get close. Get closer, brother. This is your brother. This is not some stranger. This is your brother. He's not a stranger. He's your brother. Tafadal. I just showed you. Patience. Jade, doing good. Haste. You're right. Haste. Mm-hmm. Jay. Read it for me, Fahad. Sorry, son. Here, you come over. Here, read with him. Who was it, 531? He knows exactly what it is. Here, read that for me. Huh. Read. تفضل فهد. ايه تفضل read it. I'm sorry. Uh-huh. Read it for me, Zayd. Zayd. تفضل. I'm sorry. جيد. ثواب عائشة رضي الله عنها. جيد. قالت دخل علي النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم ذات يوم فقال هل عندكم شيء؟ قلنا لا. قال فإني إذن صائم. ثم أتانا يوما آخر فقلنا أهدي إلينا حيس فقال أرينه فلقد أصبحت صائما فأكل. رواه مسلم. طيب. So the authority of Aisha, our mother, radiallahu anha, ardaha. Focus. Said that the message of Allah sallallahu entered upon us. Entered upon Aisha, on a particular day. And the messenger said, do you have something for me to eat? She said, no. Messenger of Allah said, okay, now, right now, this moment, I'm fasting. The sun was up. The sun was up. The time for Fajr was in. It says clearly in the narration, that yawmin. It was during the day. It says it clearly in the narration. That yawm. It didn't say that layl. It said that yawm. On a day, the sun was up. So the Messenger of Allah ﷺ started his fast after the time of Fajr. Jayid. So then the Messenger, he said, La. So he says, okay, for inni idhan sa'im. Right now, okay, if that's the case, I'm fasting then. طيب. Then it says, ثُمَّ أَتَانَ يَوْمًا آخَرَ. Came to us another day. Didn't say night. Day. فَقُلْنَا أُهْدِيَ إِلَيْنَا حَيْس. Hays is a type of food that's mixed with dates and barley, or cheese and barley and some suman. How do you translate a semen or suman? Like fat. Jay. And they mix it together and it's called hays. It's sold. Some, alhamdulillah, Muslim markets sell it. But anyway, he said, hays has been given as a gift to us. The Prophet ﷺ said, let me see it. I came upon the morning fasting. The Prophet ﷺ ate, stopped his fast, broke it. What do we say about this narration here? Number one, it is authentic. لا غبار على صحته فهو ثابت. It's affirmed and it's been authenticated. So we don't have to worry about that. Trust me. Now, how do we say, or what's the tawjih? What do we say about this narration? What do we say, everyone? It's clear. Trust me, once I break it down, I clarify it, it's rhetorical a little bit just for right now. طيب. Now, once I explain it, it'll be clear. طيب. Inshallah. What the first thing that we take from here, from this, number one is, notice that the Al-Hafidh ibn Hajar al-Asqalani started with the narrations talking about the importance of the intention. Right, everyone? Then he came with a narration that it seems as if it opposed this narration that he just mentioned previously. Because it says that one who doesn't make his intention before Fajr, he has no fast. Here it says the Messenger of Allah ﷺ didn't have an intention until after the morning time. So he didn't make his intention before Fajr. Here in this narration. It sounds like it's conflicting. Is some contradiction? Absolutely not. I'm going to explain it and break it down. Don't worry, it's coming, don't worry. طيب, first things first. For the obligatory fast, the niyyah has to, of course, either before the first part of the month or every night before the before the time of Fajr, excuse me. Before the time of Fajr. For the obligatory fast, you need your niyyah for that. Obligatory fast. Obligatory fast. Obligatory fast, ya ma'ashal al-ikhwa, breaks down into three categories. Three categories. There's an obligatory fast. The first fast that's obligatory is the fast of Ramadan. That's obligatory for everyone to do. Every Muslim that has, of course, we know all the prerequisites. The first fast that's obligatory, Zubair? He's Ziyad. Nice name. Tayyib. The first category, or first type of obligatory fast is for Ramadan. The second one is Siyam Kafara, fasting of an expiation. The fasting which is considered an expiation. An expiation. For example, a person might make what they call hinth fil yamin or hinth al-ayman, where a person breaks his oath or breaks what he swore he was going to do by Allah. And that's in the ayah which we'll cover later on, inshallah. Don't write this down, I want to confuse it. But it's in the ayah, Surah Al-Ma'idah. There's a lot to it with the Allah says in his book. What's the ayah? I'm trying to remember. Give me a second to remember. Alhamdulillah, just remember. فكفارته إطعام 10 مساكين من أوسط ما تطعمون أهليكم أو كسوتهم أو تحرير رقبة فمن لم يجد فصيام 3 أيام ذلك كفارة أيمانكم إذا حلفتم واحفظوا أيمانكم. Jay. There's a lot to be what the Allah says as far as for those who broke their oath. This is to the side. You gotta go? You gotta go to the bathroom? So hold on, Suhail. Just keep me in a minute. Just give me a second. So the expiation for it is إطعام 10 مساكين من أوسط ما تطعمون أهليكم أو كسوتهم أو تحرير رقبة فمن لم يجد فصيام 3 أيام ذلك كفارة أيمانكم إذا حلفتم واحفظوا أيمانكم. If a person breaks his oath, Allah has made it where a person gives, he has the alternative and the choice to pick one of these three that he mentioned in the ayah. At the end of the day, the point of reference so I can speed up everything, Allah says if you don't find any of these, fast 3 days. That is the expiation of your oaths if you make them. Fine. So an expiation or fast that's considered expiation is obligatory. So that's the second type of what? Obligatory fast. Then you have the third type of obligatory fast, which is what they call Siyam an-Nadhr. Fasting of what? Nadhr. Nadhr is when you take an oath or a vow, Gee. He takes a vow to do something. Say it again. Oh, it's time for Salah? No. Take us a couple more minutes, 3 more minutes. تفضل. يا كريم تفضل. I know. I'm called. Suhail, you gonna call you then? Oh, I thought he was calling you then. Zubair, you the oldest out of them? Who's the youngest? Ziyad? No, other brothers. Y'all have 4 brothers? Yeah, little girl. He's older than you? No. Oh, he's the youngest? Yeah. Oh. So who's the youngest from you 3? Ziyad. What's wrong? Oh, okay. Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله. أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله. Alhamdulillah. I marked it off. I cannot find it. Where is it? La hawla wa la quwwata illa billah. Hawla wa la quwwata illa billah. Where is the other one? I just had it. اللهم رب هذه الدعوة التامة والصلاة القائمة آتي محمد الوسيلة الفضيلة وبعثه مقام محمود الذي وعدته. I did all this research and I could not find what I'm looking for. I hate it when I do a bunch of research. Alhamdulillah, I got to memorize. طيب, you guys ready? I forgot your name again. What's your name again? Muslimin? What's his name? Oh, okay. Gee. You ready, everyone? Type. So that's the second type of fast that's obligatory. Or third, which is called Siyam an-Nadhr. The fasting of taking a vow. Taking a vow. But those are the three types of obligatory fasts that one has to what? That one has to fulfill. Taib. Why are we speaking about this? Why are we talking about this? These type of obligatory fasts that we're speaking about now, that we're covering now, it is obligatory for you to have your intention before Fajr. It is not correct that you make your intention after Fajr. And these type of what? These type of fasts in which we're speaking about now. At all. That's the first type of fast in which is obligatory to have your niyyah before what? Before Fajr. And it breaks down to those three. So just to keep it simple, Zayd, just to keep it simple, that the intention for Ramadan, it has to be before Fajr if one wants to do that. To keep his intention before Fajr. Type. The second type of fast that one should have, he cannot make it in the middle of the day, is those prescribed, highly recommended fasts that the Messenger of Allah ﷺ said to perform, which is not obligatory, but is voluntary. For example, the day of Yom Ashura or Yom Arafah. One cannot come on the day of Arafah and say, I'm going to start my niyyah for Dhuhr. Is it clear what I'm saying? You cannot fast on the day of Yom Arafah, and he did not make his intention for Fajr. Oh, I have to make my intention for Fajr. I'll just make my intention in the middle of the day of Yom Arafah for Dhuhr or Asr. La, you cannot do that. This because now you have not fasted the day of Arafah. You have not. You have not fasted the day of Yom Arafah. Or for example, Ayyam al-Bid, the 13th and the 14th or the 15th on the Islamic calendar. That's called, for example, Ayyam al-Bid. You cannot fast those days by beginning your intention after the sun came up. It has to be before what? Before Fajr. Is it clear what I'm saying, everyone? I wanted to make that clear because a lot of people read this hadith and I found the research. I did it, alhamdulillah, and I found the information I was looking for. Because a lot of people think that this narration is applicable for even those highly recommended fasts that the Messenger of Allah pre-described that one should do voluntarily. Not obligatory, voluntarily. Such as, for example, the day of the 10th of Yawm Ashura, or for example, the day of Arafah, or for example, the 6 days of Shawwal after Ramadan is over, or for example, the months of Ashhur al-Hurum, the Ashhur al-Hurum, the sacred months that the Messenger of Allah ﷺ also highly recommended that one should fast in, or the month of Sha'ban, which we're in right now. A person would think, we're in the month of Sha'ban, based upon this hadith here in our books, if you read it, Suhail and, I keep saying Zuhair, what's his name? Zayd. Suhail and Zayd, based upon this narration you read in your books, you would think, let's say, for example, the month of Sha'ban, I don't have to start my niyyah until what? Until when? The middle of the day. That's what one would think. That's not the case. Those pre-described, highly recommended fasts, the Messenger of Allah had prescribed that we should do. Voluntarily, as we said. Not obligatory. one should start his niyyah before when? Fajr. So those two type of fasts are now removed. The obligatory one and the highly prescribed, recommended, voluntary fast that the Messenger of Allah prescribed. Is it clear what I'm saying, everyone? Those type, they need a niyyah before Fajr, or before it's time, either at the first part of Ramadan or before Fajr. Is it clear what I'm saying? Type. So what's the Messenger of Allah talking about here? He's talking about a third category of fasting, which is something you might want to do haphazardly, just sporadically, out of the moment, with the condition that you did not take anything that broke your fast yet. That's the prerequisite. A third type of fast, which is called a voluntary abrupt fast, that you want to do just abruptly, sporadically, out of nowhere. I just feel it. Do you have anything to eat? No, we ain't make anything. All right, I'm going to fast today. Or I'm going to fast the remainder of the day. We'll talk about the details of it. That's the third type of fast that one can what? He can do. And it's a regular, sporadic, out of nowhere fast that he feels like doing. As long as, of course, it doesn't fall on those days that, of course, there was impermissible, one can do that type of fast. And it's not obligatory that you have to make your niyyah for Fajr for the third category of fasting. The first two categories, yes. The third category, no. For example, let's just say, let's just say Sunday. Tomorrow's Saturday. Say Saturday or Sunday. All right, it's 9 o'clock in the morning. So I didn't make my intention before Fajr at all. I just woke up, 9 o'clock. I didn't eat anything. I didn't drink anything. I wasn't intimate with my family and nothing. People know what I'm talking about. But none of those things that break my fast. I have to mention that because that's part of the conditions for this type of fast, for the third category. You can't be intimate with your wife. But so he came upon the morning. I didn't eat. I didn't drink. I didn't do any of those matters that basically breaks my what? My fast. Type, 9 o'clock in the morning, my wife said, I ain't cook you anything. I'm mad at you today. I'm joking. I'm mad at you today. I ain't cooked nothing. Okay, I'll fast today. Type, that 9 o'clock, it's a joke, everyone. It's a joke. Type, 9 o'clock in the morning, that once a person starts his fast, and that particular time, that sporadic fast that he just did haphazardly, just wanted to fast in that particular moment, he can do that. It's with the condition that you did not eat or drink anything that will break your fast. That he can do this type of fast, and the example of that is here in your books, where the Messenger of Allah Suhail had did here. So I'm asking everyone, if you look at the book right now, I keep saying Zayd and Suhail, when you read the hadith number 531, 533, which type of fast did the Messenger of Allah do here? First, second, or third? For them. Don't worry. First, second, or third? Which one? J. The third one. The third one. The third one is what the Messenger of Allah did here. So based upon what I just said now, everyone, is it confusing? No, it isn't. Clear? Jayed? So the Messenger of Allah, now a person, now isn't a stipulation. There's some Ahl-Ilm. And especially what the great Imam, just read it quickly. Is it for this type of thing? Now we're speaking about the third category, the third category of fasting. But can you start it any day or any time during the day? Does it have to be after Dhuhr? Can it be before Asr? Does it have to be after? Or is it prohibited after Asr? Or does it have to be in the early part of the day? Does it have to be? Can it be after Dhuhr? Can it be after Asr? Can it be any part of the day? Or does it have to be at the beginning part of the day? Huh? What do you guys say? For the third category we're talking about, not the obligatory. Ramadan is clear. And all the voluntary fast is clear. That's clear. That's the people for Fajr. We're talking about the third type of fast the Messenger of Allah did in this narration here. Okay. So Suhail says any part. Zubair, what do you say? Which part of the day can you start this type of fast that you want to do, which not obligatory to have your intention before Fajr? Huh? He says before Asr. Basically, he's saying during the day. He can say it before Asr, so he picked the time. Good. He shows his mind is with us. Tayyib, what do you say, Ziyad? Are you raising your hand? Oh, I'm telling you. Suhail says what? What do you say, Suhail? He said any part of the day as long as he doesn't break his fast. This guy right here, you think he's not paying attention? He said any part. That was a very, very smart answer. He said any part of the day as long as he didn't take something to break his fast. Do you guys agree with him or disagree? It's not so obligatory. It's not obligatory. But the correct answer is any part of the day. Day. Not night. You said night. Doesn't matter. You can start at 9 o'clock. As long as he does not what? Do any or eat something prior that broke his fast. Fine. Now, that's another question I want to ask you guys. Does he get the reward similar to a person that was started it earlier? That the person that started it later? Are they the same or are they equal? For example, let's just say the person that started Dhuhr, is he equal to the person that started around Asr? Is he equal in any reward? And then I got another question after that because you want me to give you some little bit difficult questions. I'll give you some difficult. Tayyib. Now I'm going to throw another curveball after this too. Tayyib. We say no. They're not equal. No. The person that fasted in the first part of the day is not like the person who fasted in the last part. Now I'm going to throw it. See, she wanted me to make it difficult. Now I'm going to make it difficult. Tayyib. Let's just say now a person did the third category of fasting, right? The third category. Tayyib. Started off 9 o'clock fasting. Keep in mind this narration. If you look at your books, what do you see, everyone? Messenger of Allah broke it. Which is a clear, the evidence and proof to show what? That a third category of fast, even a second category, we'll talk about that inshallah, even though Al-Im say the second category, you shouldn't break it, except for an excuse. But the third one is a little bit more lighter than the first and second. It's a little bit more vast, a little bit more lightweight. Why? Because it says clearly that the Messenger of Allah what? Broke it. The day wasn't completed yet. And it was due to no excuse except that food was what? Was served to him. Is it clear what I'm saying, everyone? Jade. So now here, let's just say, for example, the person. Oh, we have to stop. No, we have to. No, it's time for the Iqamah. I don't want to make the Iqamah time just came in about 2 minutes ago. I blame it on the scene. He's like, man, I don't want to be the bad guy. Fine. So, to finish the point, let's just say a person came 9 o'clock, right? He came by 9 o'clock. He didn't eat or drink anything. Fine. Let's just say he broke his niyyah. Broke his niyyah. His niyyah. He didn't eat anything or drink anything. Then he made another niyyah. the latter part of that same day, or that third voluntary fast. Firstly, number one, is it permissible to do that? And if it is, does he get the reward based upon his first intention or the second? You wanted me to make it difficult? I made it difficult. All right. So what does he get a reward based upon the first intention or the second? He said both. Good, safe route. For the first question, is it permissible to do this? Keep in mind, we said the third fast is more flexible. As long as what, everyone? He didn't break his fast or eat anything or drink anything that broke his fast. So the third fast is more what? It's more lenient, more flexible. You have some room there, some flexibility. Type. So based upon that, right, everyone? If a person just say, because we know the intention, if one cuts it, breaks it for this type of fast, it's broken, right? Even though he didn't what? Eat or drink anything. If he made it to khalas, I'm not fasting anymore. You made it clear, that made you made the azm. You had the strong resolve. You made the intention. Then let's just say you didn't eat or drink anything yet. Then let's just say 20 minutes, you know what? Let me resume, let me finish this day out, or what's left. Do you receive the reward based upon the first intention or the second? Jamar says second. And that answer is correct. I'll give it to you guys later. The second of what is remaining in the day, he will get his reward of what is left. Is that type of fast based upon the fast of what a person does right before Fajr all the way up to when the Maghrib comes in? Absolutely not. That reward is greater with Allah. And, as we know, starting at that time all the way up to the day is finished, that is the most what? Complete. That is complete. As akmal. But however, the third category, if one wants to do it, then what? Then he can do it. The third category is more flexible, and that's exactly what the Messenger of Allah ﷺ did in this narration. So that's the reason why we said one should understand this narration correctly. Because I know certain people will say, well, this narration shows that all those other fasts that are voluntary, I could just start it after Fajr, or I could start it after Dhuhr, or I could start it after Asr, or I could start. La. Those highly prescribed fasts that are voluntary has to also be before Fajr. I found some information on it and I lost it. And I'm about to, and Allah knows best, once everyone leaves, I'll find it again. I highlighted it and put it on. Because I did some more research, because certain things wasn't, when I read a lot, especially when I read this hadith years ago, about 10 years ago, I was like, oh, even for Yom Arafah and all those other different types of prescribed fasts for 3 days out of the month, and Yom al-Bid, you could do it any day. So that's what that made me want to now do more research. I was like, something's wrong. Something's just, it's not clicking here. So that's when I went back and I started checking, found what I was looking for. Shaykh Uthaymeen clearly clarified. He said, no, in regards to the fast, like for example, Monday, Thursday, or 13th, 14th, 15th, or Yom Ashura, or the month of Sha'ban, one has to make his niyyah before Fajr. He says it clearly. And I was like, I found it. He says he has to make his niyyah before Fajr. That you cannot apply this on, those type of those highly recommended fasts. But the fast that the Messenger of Allah did was something that was just an abrupt fast after it clearly showed that he did not have any food to eat. And it was upon the morning time. And that is what is called Siyam al-Nafal. It's a voluntary, abrupt, supererogatory fast that the Messenger of Allah used to do. Is it clear what I'm saying, everyone? Is it clear, KV? Is it clear, everyone? Probably we'll stop here because we gotta. You still want Kitab al-Tawheed back? Yeah. Probably any other questions or any questions? Anyone? Let's start with Camden. You guys next time come, try to bring your books too. Right. Don't leave yet. We ain't pray. You got make wudu? You got make wudu? You got wudu? Go ahead, make wudu, Zia. I'll keep it right there. Tafadhal, Camden. Busy, yeah, you got me. Wudu. Oh, I thought you said you had to. Go ahead, Tafadal. I'm sorry. Fast is still valid. If you say you went to sleep for Dhuhr and you didn't wake up till Maghrib, or you didn't wake up till Asr or after Asr, the fast is still valid. Fast is still valid. Tafadal. That, what I'll talk about later on, that has a lot of details in it. No, that's obligatory. The woman is pregnant, a month of Ramadan, it's obligatory fast. It's obligatory. Talk about Ramadan, keep in mind. Ramadan is obligatory. All that will come, inshallah. Tafadal. No, the month of Sha'ban fall in the second. Absolutely. Highly recommend it. It's not obligatory. Sha'ban is not obligatory. It's highly recommended. Not obligatory. Tafadal. Uh-huh. He could do it again. Same as he did for the month. That would suffice for the rest of the month. For the remainder. Tafadal, Suhail. Say it again. What is it? Multiple. Multiple means like different. Multiple means, how would you break that down? تعدد رواية no. Can you ask hard questions? There you go. Tawatur. He's talking about tawatur. 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 Tawatur just means in Arabic language. Tawatur means a lot of narrators. It means you have 5, 10, 20. That's all it means. That's what tawatur means. That's it. Fadl Camden. Who for Fahid? The month of Sha'ban is the second category. Uh-huh. For a woman that's pregnant? Yeah, the origin is she should fast. She has to fast. That's the origin. There's some women out there that are very strong, Sheikh. Trust me. I have seen and I have heard. There's women in certain countries, the first 3 or 4 months they fasting. They fasting and they pregnant. I've seen it, I've heard it. If she has the ability to fast, she'll fast. There's some strong women out there. There's women out here now that work, they're pregnant and they have to work all the way up to the 8th month. They're not strong women, they're some strong women. Especially women that got to they got to take care of 4 or 5 kids, work by themselves, they have no husband around, and they got to work all the way up to the last month of their pregnancy. It's rough. And she does it. There's women out here that does have the ability to do that. First month of Ramadan, she can fast, maybe until about maybe 4th or 5th, maybe 6th, it starts to get difficult. But the first 2 months, let's just say she has the strength, she could do it. A lot of people think that's not going to give nutrients to the baby. That's not true. It's not true at all. It's not true. Even the kuffar are starting to discover all these things that are so-called known to us for years is all wrong. Everything America says backwards. Everything, diet, everything, body, health, they all find stuff that's wrong all day that they've been saying for years. Rather, fasting is probably might help the baby grow even more and make them even more stronger and better. So also the origin is what? That the woman, she should fast. And if she can't, then, of course, then the ahkam for her breaking it comes. But that's the origin is that if a woman is able to fast, she should fast. No, you good. In the month of Ramadan? Depends. Whether or not she has her postnatal bleeding. Certain women do get they get what they call nifas. Certain women do get nifas. They get postnatal bleeding. Certain women do, certain women don't. Certain women, if she doesn't have any postnatal bleeding, she can continue her fast. A lot of people say, oh, that's going to damage her body. No, fasting is more heal her body. A lot of people don't know that. Fasting will be a means to heal her body and to speed it up. There's some women out there that don't get a postnatal bleeding at all. If she doesn't get postnatal bleeding at all, she fasts in the month of Ramadan. But if she does get postnatal bleeding, then she doesn't fast. It's obligatory for her to break it if she's on her postnatal bleeding. Obligatory. It's not, she doesn't have her choice. And even if she did it, she wasted her time because she's not getting any reward. Jayed? What's up? What was you saying? Is this another question? All those questions about pregnancy and breastfeeding, all will come, inshallah. The details of it will come. I've dealt with this about maybe 10 times every year. Same questions about the breastfeeding and about the man or the woman who's afraid for the infant or the baby or what have you, breast milk and pregnancy, all that. All that's going to come, inshallah. Right, any questions about the lesson? Anything else? طيب we'll stop. هذا وصلى الله وسلم وبارك على نبينا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه. سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك وأشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت أستغفرك وأتوب إليك.